What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of Sunday Driver. So this is a car I've been following for a little while. I saw the original guy that owned it. He lived pretty close and he was building it, adding all these cool parts, and then he left to Japan and took the car with him. Now we're months later in San Diego. The car is back. Kuba, I appreciate you coming out, man. This is such a cool car, and I'm stoked that it left to Japan, but now it's back. So I'm cool to see it cruising back in San Diego again.
Yeah, I can officially say that I imported a car from Japan. I haven't bought any Japanese vehicles, but I definitely brought one over.
That's pretty sweet. And if you're gonna do one, I mean, this is a pretty cool one to do.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell me about that story, because I saw it, like I said, he was building it for months, adding all these cool parts, doing the paint, and then he left. But now it's here again.
Yeah, so basically, he finished this build late 2019. So the previous owner built this car from the ground up. Everything that you see on this vehicle was done by him. I literally haven't touched it yet.
Okay.
He's in the military, I'm in the military. Basically,
yeah.
he got orders to Japan.
Right.
And so he shipped the car over there.
Right.
And then he figured out that it's an insane hassle to try to get registered.
I remember watching him, so he was posting like videos and talking about it and just like all of the headaches. I thought it was a headache getting a Japanese car here, but it seems like it's just as hard to get an American car on a Japanese soil.
It's absolutely worse.
And that seems crazy because it's not easy getting a JDM car here.
The car was sitting outside because in military housing over there, they don't have garages.
Right.
So it was getting snowed on, rained on. You know. He put his heart and soul in the car, so just watching it sit outside was like killing him. And
you couldn't drive it.
Right. And so he made like this incredibly difficult decision to sell it.
Oh.
I just happened to be, you know, looking at the forums on Facebook, and I had a 240. I had a 73 240 at the time.
Okay. Well, what kind of state was that one in?
Oh, it was a rusted out piece of shit.
Okay. Kind of like mine.
Yeah, with no engine.
Okay.
It was gonna be the project car.
Okay.
And then I saw his car on Facebook for sale.
Right.
Basically, the minute that I saw it, I said, you know, if I was ever to build a Z, this would be it. It would be exactly this.
Yeah.
So I had a harebrained scheme. I went to my wife. I said, hey, babe, if I dump two of my project cars and I sell off all the inventory that I have, which is fairly extensive, could I get into this car? She's like, well, if you can make it work and you can find a way for you and the seller to be comfortable to bring it from Japan to here, then yeah, let's do it. So
sounds like a keeper.
Yeah, me and Zach started this whole thing November of 2020.
Right.
And I've only owned this car for a month, so
hey, that must be
5 months.
That's pretty exciting. Yeah.
But we basically had to develop a personal relationship just to make the sale happen.
So did you guys know each other before he left to Japan?
Not at all. I think the only thing that really made this sale happen is that we're both in the military.
Right.
So there's like a little bit of an inherent level of trust there.
For sure.
But even so, right, there was all kinds of back and forth, wheeling and dealing between us to get together some kind of deal that was both comfortable for me and comfortable for him.
So beyond the financial part, what did it take to get this? So what city was he in Japan, do you know?
He's in Yokosuka.
So what did it take to get this car from that city back to San Diego? Yeah,
so it was nuts. It was probably the most cringy process I've ever been through, and he's ever been through, because to ship a vehicle to Japan on military orders, you just drop it off and you pick it up. And there's no issues.
Right. So that's what he did going out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But to ship it back through civilian channels is completely different. So over there, he had to get a company. He had to work with a shipping company that would put it on a boat. He had to work with a transporter because he couldn't drive it to the boat.
No kidding. Oh my gosh.
And then it shipped over here.
Okay.
I had to work with a broker that would pick it up from customs and get it ready to be picked up.
So you couldn't go down there to pick it up?
No, it has to have a customs inspection, even though it's a California vehicle, because it's coming from overseas.
Okay. All right.
And then on top of that, for both mine and his comfort, we worked through a third-party transporter to pick it up from Long Beach to take it somewhere where I could pick it up.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, it was a super cringe-worthy process, and like the day I picked it up and the day he actually got paid,
yeah,
was probably like the happiest day for both of us.
For both of your lives, yeah.
It was insane. I will probably never import another car from Japan.
Oh, well,
never say never, right? I never thought I'd buy something like this, but I did, so.
Well, the good news is on that front, there is a lot of guys that are getting more and more legit, so you can, and they do all the work for you. So you can just go buy the cool JDM car and not go through the crazy hassle that it is.
Yeah, it's crazy how many like R32s I've been seeing driving around now that they're like, you can make them California legal.
Right, well, maybe.
But I have to worry about that with this, right? Anything 75 or older.
Pre-smog, that's the way to do it. That was one of the, so when I got mine, that was one of the big things. It had to be pre-smog because, especially in California, like it's such a pain. If you want to do motor swaps, if you want to do exhaust, like anything, it's pretty much all illegal. So if you get pre-smog, you know, you can kind of do more what you want.
Yeah, so this one, basically, all I do is pay my registration every year, and I drive it whenever I want, however I want.
That's awesome. So give me the basic rundown on the build. Obviously, this is far from stock.
First disclaimer, right? I've owned the car a month. I have the build list and a text message. Right? And coming from a Honda background, there are differences between Nissans and Hondas as far as parts and manufacturers.
For sure.
So I cannot speak in great detail as to the extensiveness of this build, right? You might want to actually call Zach and get a secondary interview with him. Okay. But you know, the basics are this: the suspension on the vehicle is completely done. It has aftermarket rear diff, aftermarket rear diff mounts. Obviously,
we're by an airport, so you might see that. So the diff mounts, because once you add any power, like the stock rear end is really not meant for that.
Oh no. So as I understand it, I think 240s come, the diff mount is mounted on like a leather strap or some shit.
So yeah, that supports it on the front, and then the back is like a thin piece of metal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this car doesn't have anything like that. Like if you drive in this car and you switch from first to second gear, or second to third, you can literally hear the diff grab, and it sounds like a freaking explosion. I really had to get used to it. This car makes all kinds of race car noises that you got to get used to.
That's fun.
Drive it. It is a RB25 Swapped, Series 1.
Okay, so like R32 probably?
Yeah, completely built bottom end. He's got an AccuSump system because he was having some...
Right, is that what this is in here?
Yeah, that's the AccuSump, basically. AccuSump basically feeds extra oil when you're really mashing on the car.
So is it like kind of like halfway to a dry sump kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
It's on Haltech 2000 engine management system. I think 1050cc injectors.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's check it out. We're just teasing.
You guys are probably tired of me talking about it.
Is this still the metal hood, or is this a carbon hood?
Fiber hood painted.
Okay, so I've been thinking about doing carbon fiber on mine.
Yeah, you want to do weight reduction on this car wherever you can.
I was wondering.
This hood weighs nothing.
Do you know whose hood this is?
I have no idea, but I could find out.
Because this mount is like OEM. That's probably the way to do it if you can. Yeah, and it looks like this piece right here is aftermarket, but nothing crazy. But that's a good solution. But obviously there it is, the RB25 with a big old honking snail on it.
Okay, so the block, basically the engine got hot tank decked and bored out by 0.5 millimeters.
Oh, okay. So is it a bigger displacement then?
Yeah, it's 86.5 millimeter displacement. It's got mainly H-beams and rods, ACL bearings, Tomei head gasket, ARP head, main, studs, and hardware. Right. I mean, you'd need to go into another episode for me to go through
the whole list, yeah. Right? But it sounds to me like his goal wasn't to make crazy power. It sounds more like it was just to be supported and reliable. Obviously, it still makes plenty of power too.
The one thing that I know for sure is Dart in San Diego.
Okay,
The car.
Right.
And it makes 520 to the wheels on 20 pounds of boost.
Oh my gosh.
But it's on mid-range boost. Like, you can turn the boost up on this car.
Yeah.
But there's really no need.
I mean, this car is so light that...
The current amount of power that it makes, even with that meat on the back...
Yeah.
It cracks loose every gear.
Every gear?
Yeah, all the way, first, second, third.
Oh my gosh.
All the gears will crack loose if I step on the gas. So.
Insane. So you said mid-level, how much power do you think it's making there?
Well, it makes 520 to the wheels on the current boost, right? But what I'm saying is I can easily turn the boost.
It can make more than that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So the turbo is rated for more boost. The block can handle more boost.
Sheesh.
The whole setup for the car can do more boost. It just doesn't need any more boost.
It doesn't.
It doesn't need any more power.
I mean, if you're blowing off the tires in every gear, you know, there's really no point.
It's got 255s on the back, so
Sheesh.
it's got all kinds of neat.
Do you know what this paint was? I feel like when he painted it, he said it was like...
This is a factory Porsche color.
Yeah. It looks really clean.
So...
And you could have gone really crazy, but it's kind of... The car is crazy enough. I think kind of an understated gray was a nice choice for it.
It's very clean lines, right? Nothing on this car is done to... Like, it pops to the eye, but like in a really classy way.
Right. Well, it's just... I think what he did was kind of just accentuated an already great design, you know?
There's a couple things on this car that I really love that he did that you never see on Z's. It doesn't have fender flares.
Right.
I'm not really like, I get that that's a huge thing for the Z community.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big fender flare guy, but he did have the rear fenders flared out.
I saw that.
So that's really cool, right? But he had the metal work to have them flared out. He didn't.
So it still got that stock look, but looking from the side, you can tell you widened it out so you can fit a little bit more tire under there.
I didn't want one like that kind of wide body kit or that the Rocket Bunny look. Like, this is very like timeless, classy.
Right.
It damn near looks like a goddamn muscle car.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially with the meats in the back.
With an RB25 in it, it is a muscle car. It's not from this country.
Right. Japanese muscle car.
So, I think it was kind of crazy because I remember one of the things I didn't like about the car when I bought it was the wheels. I was going to go with Watanabe's.
Yep, that's what I have.
It took a couple weeks and they've really grown on me, and I definitely don't want to get rid of them anymore.
It's funny, they're from a different era, but somehow it worked.
The way that he mashed it up, it's a great resto-mod.
Yeah. Everything
on the car like complements. It just looks amazing, man.
Yeah, well, and the nice thing about it is it's drivable. You can just hop in and go do stuff.
So,
airplane.
One of the notorious things about my Hondas, so this is not my first, the car's also E85, right?
Oh, okay. Pure, like straight E85?
Yep,
okay.
E85.
Okay.
All my Hondas have always been E85.
Okay.
But the tuning on them, the cold starts on them are notorious.
Yeah.
Like, I've always had issues with cold starts. This car, literally like factory. You just get in it, turn the key, like literally like I just drove it off the Nissan factory floor.
That's awesome. That's what you want.
Which is hard to do with a build this extensive, right? So, So the tune on it was done really well. The cool thing about the setup that he's got on the Haltech is he's got this flex fuel sensor where I can mix and match 91 or 85.
Okay.
I don't have to empty the tank.
Okay,
which means that I don't ever have to worry about, you know, did I not make it to the E85 gas station in time?
Right.
If I don't, I just stop at any gas station.
Okay.
And get regular gas, and basically the flex fuel kind of adjusts on the fly, which is really awesome.
That is pretty sweet. Part of E85 cars is that you build them, and then if you're not like right by a station or there's not one in your area, like it's almost like having an electric car where you're like worrying about your range all the time.
Yeah.
So
in San Diego, that's not really a huge worry. I mean, there's E85 gas stations everywhere. If I want to drive up to LA and didn't have this, you know, I gotta like plan the trip.
Right, exactly.
Because this thing eats gas like a V.
I'm sure.
I had to do the math because the fuel gauge isn't hooked up on the car.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like one of the things I got to do.
Okay.
So I had to like do my gas math, right? Miles per gallon math.
Right.
16 miles per gallon.
16's not bad.
85. I mean, sure, I guess. But it's a V. It's a freaking 6-cylinder, right?
Right. Right.
And that's 16 miles per gallon. Just
getting around,
driving around town, not going balls out.
Yeah.
So,
and I know that E85, once you start doing that, that's what really makes the difference. Starts eating it.
But again, obviously, like not my daily driver.
Right.
So I'm not out there like counting how much money I'm spending on gas.
For sure. For sure.
This is the weekend car.
Yeah.
So,
What about the interior? The interior looks great.
So yeah, he did a lot of work to the interior. There's still some stuff that needs to be done. I actually ordered a replacement dash.
Oh yeah, because they just started making the new ones.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
I got my replacement dash coming either Monday or Tuesday. So one of the projects.
This is a 260s dash.
Yep, 260.
So did you go with the 260 dash? Cool.
Yeah, I don't want to fake it like it's a 240.
Yeah.
Actually,
I didn't know that. So this is a 260, not a 240.
Yeah, this is a genuine 260. I actually think 260s are cooler than 240s.
Well, they only made them for 1 year, you know.
Made them for 1 year, man.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about what's the most rare Z, this is the most rare Z. That's it.
You know what's funny is the motor in my car is an L26, so they made the motor for 1 year, and for some reason whoever had it before me decided that's the motor to swap in. Who knows? Who knows why?
So
but we have the Sparco steering wheel. I love these Corbo seats. Those are great.
They're pretty wide. I actually have a set of charge speed seats.
Charge
carbon Kevlar.
Huh. Oh, nice.
It's a JDM. It's a Japanese brand.
Cool.
So I might put those in here because these are really wide.
Okay.
Zach was a big guy. Like I think he's like 6'4", 260.
Okay, yeah.
So he needed something, you know, much bigger just so he could even get in the car. I'm a lot smaller. I'm 6 foot 185.
Right.
So I was thinking about putting my charge speed seats in because I do plan to track this car. In fact, I'm taking it to an event in May.
Where are you going?
Chuckawalla.
Oh man, this thing's gonna be a hoot at Chuckawalla.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So.
Do you know about this shifter? Do you know the Mazda 787, the 4-rotor race car?
Yeah.
So it had a plastic white shift knob that reminds me a lot of this one. That's a pretty cool piece.
Yeah, Zach got that especially. He's got some kind of Instagram post especially about that shifter.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that might be one of the things to go. I don't like the way it feels on my hand. Okay. I like smaller metal shifters.
Right.
And I'll probably just my hands used to it. Most like Honda shifters are like that.
Just like the ball shape.
Yeah.
And then he did the gauges. These are all just super clean, super simple.
Yeah. So basically, the whole interior is pretty stock, other than the center console that he got.
Right.
And all his gauges that he did.
Right.
And
of course,
this
party piece.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll stay?
So, I like it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I wasn't planning on getting rid of it, but the only problem is it's starting to come up in certain.
Oh, and it's all like one piece at this point.
Yeah. So obviously I'm a tuner. So the likelihood of me doing nothing to this car was 0.
I hear that.
I enjoyed it for about a month, and I've already started doing stuff. I have like a mobile shop. I bought a 22-foot race trailer.
Oh, sweet.
And I just got done like getting all the tools that I need. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of the work on both my Honda and this car myself.
Right.
So there's already a lot of projects that I got planned for this car. If you look, the paint on the engine bay, it's the same paint, but not the same people painted it.
Oh, interesting.
You can see that the paint on the engine bay is coming up in certain spots.
Okay.
And that's because whoever did the engine bay did like really shoddy prep work.
Oh,
this is like a legit body shop.
Yep. I remember.
The paint on the outside of the car is great. So I actually went back to that body shop there in Vista.
Okay, so you knew who it was.
Rip this motor out of here.
No way.
Yep, they're gonna redo the whole engine bay. They're gonna put it back in.
Wow.
I'm gonna actually get a Greddy intake manifold because that's like a Greddy knockoff.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna get a Greddy intake manifold. The fuel rail's got no spacers. I want to get like proper spacers for the fuel rail. Besides the paint on that, they're going to pull all the molding off the car. So right now it's just painted.
Okay.
I'm gonna have them actually powder coat all the molding.
Okay.
All the molding on the car.
You're gonna keep it black?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Nothing visually different about the car, really.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull the windshield wipers because they're not on the motor anyway.
Oh, they're just sitting.
Caps. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna be replacing the factory OEM RB25 wiring harness.
Okay, so it's not the actual Z wiring harness.
No.
Okay.
Well, the Z itself, other than the engine wiring harness, doesn't really have much of an underdash wiring harness.
Right.
This Z in particular, like, has no climate controls, and I don't plan to put them in there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically just the gauges that are wired up.
It's super simple.
Super simple. I am gonna put it on a custom fuse box. It's got like a really weird fuse box on the side.
Oh, interesting.
Like the OEM fuse box. So I am doing a custom underdash harness.
What for? What are you gonna do with it?
I want to rip out all the factory.
Okay. Yeah.
But Wiring Specialties makes a RB25 wiring harness for a Z.
Okay.
So I'm gonna buy their wiring harness. The car already has the Wiring Specialties injector harness.
Right.
So I'm just gonna buy the rest of the harness.
Yeah, and that looks really clean.
So then the other thing that I plan to do is I plan to take all the steel braided hoses.
Okay.
And fittings. Change them all to black.
Oh yeah.
So I'm doing that on the Honda already.
Okay.
I'm almost done with the project.
So are these two cars gonna match in a way?
Yeah, a little bit, I guess.
Cool.
Sure. All right. Cool.
Let's go for a drive.
Yeah, let's go for a drive.
Just like the L series. It really sounds really similar. Obviously plus turbo sounds. Yeah, it sounds pretty rowdy. Alright guys, that's a wrap for today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Kuba, for bringing out the car.
No
this
worries,
thing's
man.
a blast. I'm officially sold on the RB25.
Then I've done my job.
Yeah, I was already, but man, it sounds so good and it's quick and it seems like it's reliable too.
Yeah, it's a great motor. It's a great car.
Yeah. Anyways, see you guys next week. Thank you for watching.